my friend, I want to ask you, have you been listening to some of my podcasts for a while and identified for yourself all the areas that you feel your business could be better in? Maybe you just are so busy you haven't yet mastered the working as much as you like bit. Or maybe you're just not bringing in the money, like you're struggling with the income, or it's just not enough. Well, it's time for us to have a conversation. In the show notes, there is a link to my evolution call. If you're a dance boss and you are ready to take action, let's have a chat and let's see where I can take you. Hello and welcome, lovelies, to the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. My name is Deborah Laws, the dance business expert. My passion is to help you turn your passion into profit while guiding you to work less and earn more. I'm super excited to share interviews with you that I know will inspire and motivate you in your schools, as well as my solo shows where I shall be sharing some great tips and strategies. So if you love the show, please do remember to review, subscribe, and share it with your fellow dance boss friends. So let's get stuck into the business of dance. Hello there. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about doing Facebook Lives. So this is around our marketing and particularly around our social media strategies, because I see so many times people that tell me that they're doing lots on social media and, they're batch creating some great posts and they're spending time in Canva creating lovely graphics, or maybe even employing somebody else to do some social media. And the question I often ask them is, that's amazing, well done, but how is that working for you? Like, are you actually generating more leads? Are you actually getting more inquiries coming through the door? Are people saying, I found you on social media as a result of all the time and effort that you're putting in? Because social media is amazing, but the way I look at it is it's a little bit more about people getting to know your school, your brand, people getting to have a little bit of a look through the shop window and see what it's like actually in your dance school. I want you to think about websites are like your shop front. They're the things that people are going to walk down the road and they'll look at the window and your window display and they'll make a decision. Oh, this shop looks great. Or, say it was a clothes shop. Oh, those look like the types of things I would wear. And they make a very quick snap decision. Shall I go in and have a look around, or is this shop not for me? That's a bit like your website and your homepage. When you go into the shop, you then have a good old browse and you look around and you see the different things and you look at the accessories and you decide whether you want to try something on, and you might chat to the person behind the till and you get to know that shop a little bit more. And you either end up buying or you walk out because there's nothing for you today. That's like your social media. So your website's always going to be a bit sparkly and shiny and looks very professional. Maybe the photos, the kids all look immaculate. But when they go to your social media, this is where they get a little bit more of the feeling of what it's like on a day-to-day basis. Maybe the kids don't actually always look like they're about to walk in an exam when they see them in a normal class. I don't know about you, but my kids didn't always look absolutely immaculate. Maybe they get to see the teachers smiling and having fun with the kids. Perhaps there's some little video clips. They can see all the things that you've got going on, competitions that you've just attended, shows that you've just done, like comments from parents raving about how much their child loved this week's lesson. It's where people go to really get to know you. And believe it or not, recent research showed that people will go to social media first to check you out, and then they go to your website. Whereas it used to be the other way around. So it's really important that our social media is great and it's vibrant and there's lots going on, but it's not necessarily going to be attracting new students and getting new signups if we don't use it right. So, the first thing I wanted to say today was have a little think about how much engagement do you get on your Facebook page or in your Facebook groups? Like, do people comment? Do they share? Do they tag their friends? Or is it a little bit like tumbleweed? Like, do you put all this time and effort into your social media and feel like it's a complete waste of time? Well, one of the things that we can do to help with this, if that's you and that's the situation that you're in, is to try and improve the algorithms so that more people see what you're putting on your social media. We don't want to put a beautiful post on there that's taken us half an hour and only one person sees it. We want lots of people to see it. So to get lots and lots of people seeing your posts, the algorithms have to decide that it's interesting and that people might want to see it. And they do that because other people have found it interesting. Other people have clicked on it, have commented, have liked, have shared. And if that's happening, Meta decides that maybe we'll show this to a few more people then. So, the biggest, most successful thing you can do on your social media page is go live. The least effective is just a plain text post. Nobody wants to read plain text. It gets completely lost when they're scrolling. So it doesn't really go out to very many people. Meta don't show it to anyone because it looks boring and dull. It's much better if you have a photo attached to your post. That will have a slightly better response from Meta. If you can use video, that's kind of right up there. They really want to see live video content. It's much more appealing and eye-catching. If you're scrolling through your phone and there's a little video, you're more likely to stop and watch the video than if it was just a photo. But trumping all of those things is the live video, live content. That's what Meta really wants you to be doing on social media. So if you do a live, you're already in their good books. They're already saying, oh, great, well done. We love this. We're going to show this to a load more people than we're showing your normal posts to. And that's really going to help get out to other people that don't currently follow your page, or even people that do follow your page, clicked on it once upon a time and never took action. It will re-engage those people. So that's just a little bit of a back end kind of information as to why Facebook Lives or Instagram, doesn't have to be Facebook, are so important for you to be doing. Here's a little bit of help around how to do it and what to do. So I'm guessing some of you already do this. Maybe you do it or have a regular spot that you do it on, and it doesn't cause any problems for you at all. In fact, you quite enjoy it. I think there might be quite a few of you listening that are not in that boat. There are a few of you right now that have got the hot sweats going on, that are maybe like, oh God, this is awful. Deborah, don't even talk to me about having to do this. I understand. I know that actually the vast majority of people don't love going live on social media. In fact, I would go so far as to say it's about 80% of you that don't love doing this and therefore don't do it very often. So the other thing, of course, just going off on a slight tangent, is if you're the only dance school that goes live regularly and nobody else is doing it because they sit in that 80% that don't love it, your social media is going to get out there more than theirs. So it's a great way to up your brand awareness in your community. Okay, so how do we go live? Well, the first thing I want to address is the anxiety, is those hot sweats that it might give you. So you're less likely to feel anxious and therefore not go ahead and do it if it's something that you become more comfortable doing. So my suggestion is that you start by just recording a video. Doesn't even have to go out to anyone. You don't even have to post it anywhere at all, but just practice what you would do and say in your Facebook Live with your phone in front of you, propped up on a nice bookshelf. Make sure that the camera is at eye level and make sure that you're looking into the camera and not looking at yourself in the phone. And just hit record like you're creating a video and just practice doing the Facebook Live. And you can do that 4 or 5 times until you've done it so many times, you've really thought through what you're going to say and you're comfortable with that whole situation. The next thing I would do when you feel like you're ready to actually do it inside one of the social media platforms, you can go to who's going to actually see it. When you go to do the live, you can click on who sees it, and you can do it to only me, or you can just pick one friend. It could be a partner or a family relative. And then you go live. And the thing is, only that person is going to see it, or only you are going to see it. So nobody else is going to see it. So it's that another, like a little baby step towards being live officially, but without the whole world seeing it. It's just to help you practice. And then eventually, when you feel like I've practiced it, I've gone live, so I know which buttons to press, how to start it, how to stop it, how to look into the camera. And I did it, and only my husband saw, or only my girlfriend saw. And it was fine. And I watched it back and it looked okay, and I remembered, some of the things that Deborah taught me to do, which I'll talk about in a minute. And it was all right. So, okay, I'll take a big gulp and I'll do it. And then the first time you actually go live, if you're still really worried, don't tell anyone that you're going to do it, because then you haven't got lots of people waiting for it. So the only people that will see it are the people that happen to be on their phone at the time, that were scrolling and it popped up for them. And it's only going to be a half a dozen people potentially at the first time. And here's the great thing about it. When you end your Facebook Live, you can choose whether you want that uploaded onto your page, or whether you want to delete it, or whether you want to just save it for a couple of months. So if you finish your Facebook Live and then you're like, oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing, I messed it all up, I didn't like what I said, oh, I wish I hadn't done it, then just delete it, because nobody will be able to watch it back later. And the only people that would have seen it were the few people that actually caught it live. So I thought I would just share with you guys today the planners that I have produced for dance school owners, because these are flying out of Amazon like hotcakes. And if you don't have yours yet, then all you have to do is pop to Amazon and type into the search Deborah Laws, and all 3 books will come up. So the Ultimate Dance Business Planner I designed for you so that you had a little bit of a Deborah on your desktop. The planners are full of business training, tips, motivational quotes, things to do at the start of the month, things to do at the end of the month, ways in which you can plan out your marketing and your retention. And they are selling all over the world. So go to Amazon, grab your #1 best-selling Ultimate Dance Business Planner, and enjoy mapping out the growth for your studio. So that was the other thing I wanted to tell you. You don't have to then post it for everyone to see. But if it is okay, and you're like, oh, okay, yep, that will do, it wasn't too bad, then put it up there and then wait for the comments to come in. Now, here's a couple of tips around what to do and what to talk about and what to say in your Facebook Live. First and most important thing is going back to talking about those algorithms. We really need people to engage whilst you're talking, whilst you're doing your live. I want you to imagine you're having a conversation with somebody across the table from you. So don't just do it like a presentation. I've got these things I'm going to talk about. Do it like, oh, hi, like, lovely to see you. Like, and actually interact, actually ask them questions. Oh, Mrs. Smith, how lovely to see you. Elsa's been doing so well in her classes recently. Which one of her classes does she enjoy the most? Get somebody to answer. Oh, hello, Mr. Jones has come online now. How lovely to see you too. Try and find something that you can actually interact with, and ask people to say hi or to drop a comment or an emoji, because it's going to help you to get out to more people. The other thing to say quite early on in your Facebook Live is what you're going to be talking about. If people think you've just come on to waffle and they don't know that there's going to be any value in them spending their time with you, they might come on for 2 seconds and disappear. But if you say at the very beginning a couple of little bullet points as to what you're going to be talking about, hopefully those things will pull them in and they're going to want to stay to hear about those things. So I thought I'd do a Facebook Live and share with you what's been happening in the office this week, what I've been up to, what Miss Sarah has thought about her classes this week, and something that we've got coming up in a couple of months that I wanted to share the dates for. Now, all of a sudden, someone that is watching this back afterwards, watching the recording, has got a reason to watch the whole of the rest of the video. And someone that's watching live has got a reason to stay. So always drop those little hooks at the beginning as to just a couple of little bullet point things that you're going to be talking about. Also ask people, if you are watching this after we finished the live, you're watching it on replay, please type in #replay, because that means that I know you've had a little listen, and it's really nice for me to know who has been engaging. And also, if I ask any questions in this Facebook Live, do drop the answers, because I will always reply at a later time. So then that encourages people that are scrolling through your page a few days later to watch it and get involved almost as if they were on the live. Okay, so there's a few tips. Now, what do we talk about? Well, I kind of alluded to a few things just now. First of all, people are nosy. Your parents are nosy. Your teenagers are nosy. You may think they are not in the slightest bit interested in knowing that your car broke down on the way to the studio this week and you had to call the A out and you only just got there in time, but they actually are. They're more interested in that than knowing about a new class that you've put on your timetable, because people want to know about you. They want to get to know you more. They want to feel like they're part of your life as much as you're part of theirs. So don't be afraid to talk about, here are some things that we've been up to in the office. Here are some things that have happened for me, maybe personally. I've been to a course this week. I went and had a tooth out. Like, of course, it's entirely up to you how personal you want to become and whether you want to share some of these things. You're in complete control. All I'm letting you know is that the more you pull people in a little bit in terms of them getting to know you as if they're your friend, the more warm they feel towards you, the more loyalty that gets built, the more they're going to rave about you and talk about you to their friends, because you're not this very aloof principal that runs the school. They feel like they know you. And I'm just going to retract back there a little bit. I'm not saying you have to become friends with all your parents. I actually don't think that's a great idea. What I'm saying is I want them to feel like you're their friend. I want them to feel that kind of connection. So what have you been doing? What's been going on for you personally, if you wish to share? What's been happening at the studio? What were some great results from your classes? Do you have a student of the week that you'll be announcing? Have you got something coming up? Have you got a workshop that you want to remind them about? Just want to check with you guys that you all got my emails that went out last week. We've only got a few spaces left. So there can be a little aspect of them getting to know you. So you're building connections through personal interaction, sharing something personal, a little bit of selling. So a little bit of what's coming up. If you don't have anything coming up, you could talk about uniform, merchandise. You could talk about classes that have got some spaces available. If your child's between 6 and 7 and they don't currently do our tap class, so you could do a little bit of upselling initially. You could do a little bit about talking about your teachers, maybe something that's happening for them. Did you know Miss Emily went to a course this weekend learning the new Advanced 1 tap? Like, write 4 or 5 things, like bullet points on Post-it notes, and stick them up in front of you where the camera is so that you can see them really easily. And you may want to create like a little template for yourself. So you always include one thing about you. You always include one thing about your teachers. You always include one thing maybe about a class that worked really hard, something coming up, and something that you're going to sell. So you could have like 5 things that you always find something to talk about. And then each week you just add something new. See this as a little bit like a personal live newsletter. And the great thing is, not only are your parents going to prefer to probably watch you talking about things and reading an email that comes through, but it's going to help with your potential reach on social media, which then helps with more people hearing about you and other people perhaps getting in touch with you as a result of this. So there are a few reasons why we should really be doing Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives. A few things on how to get started in terms of recording it first and practicing it. A few things on what to say and what to talk about. And the last thing I would say is if you manage to do this and it's not too vomit inducing for you, and I promise you it gets so much easier the more you do, then how about scheduling that day and time so that people know you're always going to do it at that day and time? And the reason and I even put a post up, on a Wednesday, don't forget Friday Vibes is coming on Friday. So it reminds people, but it also does one really big thing. And it does it for me too. It holds you accountable. So you can't wake up on Friday morning and think, oh God, I'm just not in the mood, or I don't have any makeup on today. I don't think I'll bother today. I'll just do one next week, because weeks and weeks go by and it stops becoming a regular thing. I know because I've told everybody I'm going to do a Friday Vibes show on Friday at 9:30 that I have to do that. And if I didn't actually put that out there, I'd probably get really bad at doing them regularly. I hope some of those tips have helped you. But what I would love to know more than anything else is if you go ahead and you do it and you try some of my suggestions. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please do pop a comment below and let me know, do you already do this? Do you do it but not regularly and you love the idea of kind of creating your own little weekly show? You're going to start doing that. Have you never done one? Like, drop a comment in YouTube below. If you're not in YouTube, come and find me in Dance Business Lab community on Facebook and pop a comment in. Say, I've just listened to your podcast, Deborah, on Facebook Lives, and I'm going to do my first one. Wish me luck. Like, I'd really love to know how you guys get on. All right, everybody, take care, and I will see you really soon. So I wanted to tell you that this episode is kindly sponsored by Sally at Dance Studio Marketing, who is your go-to solution for growing your dance school through the power of social media. So if you're feeling overwhelmed at trying to attract new students, at Dance Studio Marketing, Sally helps dance studio owners just like you to leverage the power of social media and paid ads to bring in a steady stream of students, which of course helps you to achieve more balance in your life. So if you're ready to grow with less stress, visit sallyprendergast.com, or you can connect with Sally at Dance Studio Marketing on your favorite social media platform today. My clients are getting fabulous results using Sally. So let's get those ads going and let's get your school growing. Hello and welcome, lovelies, to the Ultimate Dance Business Podcast. My name is Deborah Laws, the dance business expert. My passion is to help you turn your passion into profit while guiding you to work less and earn more. I'm super excited to share interviews with you that I know will inspire and motivate you in your schools, as well as my solo shows where I shall be sharing some great tips and strategies. So if you love the show, please do remember to review, subscribe, and share it with your fellow dance boss friends. So let's get stuck into the business of dance.